Hi everyone, it's Michelle here for the Alleyway Stamps. Today I'm going to be creating a quilt-like background using patterned paper. So I pulled out all of these different sheets from a paper pad from Prima Marketing, and the top one is from Cardabella, which is just a scrap of paper I had around. I tried to pick papers that I thought would go well together, and of course having a paper pad already coordinated makes it really easy. So what I'm doing here is just cutting my scraps into triangles. So I cut a strip that was about 1.25 inches wide. And then on one side I'm going to measure increments of 1 inch, and on the other side I did the same thing, but I started at that 1/2 inch mark so that it would be a little offset. And then when I cut these triangles, they're all exactly equal so that they'll all fit well together later. So originally I had planned to make like a patchwork background using all of those different pattern papers that I pulled out earlier. Then I started putting this together with all the triangles I created from that one pattern paper, and I decided I really liked the way it looked with just the one pattern that's kind of mixed up because it has variations in color on the sheet. So I just went ahead and cut a couple more strips from that scrap, and you'll see I didn't have a full 6x6 paper there, but I still had enough triangles to complete the whole card front. So you really don't need a large piece of paper to do this. You can just go through your scrap basket and pick a pattern paper that you like and really make the most out of those scraps to create a fun new background. So I just went ahead and adhered all of those. I kind of used my grid mat as a guide to keep it all for the most part straight. And when they're all adhered, I just turned it around and trimmed off all of the pieces that were sticking off. And this way we have a perfect background with all of these fun little triangles to create a nice background for the rest of our card. So since that's pretty busy, I took out a die cut circle from white cardstock. This is about 3 inches in diameter, and I pulled out this mini stamp set from the Alleyway Stamps that has a large image of a moose and also a sentiment that says "Moosing You," which is just really fun and cute. So I'm inking this up with Hero Arts black dye ink, and this is just a really nice dark ink, and I'll be coloring this in with a new set of color pencils that I got. They're Spectrum Noir color pencils, and I have the marine set here, which has a good selection of blues and browns, so the browns will be perfect for coloring in this moose here. I did a video last week where I showed you some tips for using these color pencils and making them blend really well with the use of an extra product called Gamsol. So I'm just going to really quickly color this in, and if you want to watch the video where I show you the tutorial of how I use Gamsol to create smoother effects, you can go ahead and watch that, and I'll have a link for you up in the top here. I'll also link it to you at the end of my video if you want to watch it later on. So this just came together really quickly, and again, as I mentioned before, I'll be using this product called Gamsol to blend that all together. And after I blended the colors together, I also went back with more color pencils and created darker areas, and I think this just created a lot more depth in the color that I really liked. Then I went ahead and inked the edges with an orange shadow ink using my ink blending tool. I think this just pulls it into the background more and makes the white stick out a bit, but I thought it was still blending a little too much since there still is a lot of white on that background. So I pulled out one of the pattern papers that I had originally pulled out to create the background that I ended up not using. and I'm going to be die cutting a circle out of this that's slightly larger than the one I have. So right now that one is about 3 1/4, so I'll be cutting a circle out that's like 3 5/8 of an inch. And I'm using this tool by Martha Stewart. This isn't really my favorite circle cutter, to be honest, but I pulled it out because it was easier than setting up my silhouette to cut a circle. So sometimes I just pull whatever's closest, and it ended up working out just fine. And I'm going to go ahead and ink these edges as well with the same orange ink so that it'll match with the inner circle that we have. And again, this will make it pop off from the background a little bit more. So I'll go ahead and adhere the top circle onto this new mat that we've created. Then I pulled out some May Arts twine. I've really been liking this twine lately because I think it just goes with everything and just adds a little more interest. So I want to tie around this circle, but since it doesn't grip very well to round areas, I cut a little notch on either side where I want the string to go, and I just use my ruler to make sure that I'm cutting it in a straight line. And these little notches just create a nice area for the string to stay and not slide around. So I'm just tying a simple bow there, and I'm taping the backs with that washi tape that I used earlier to just hold it in place and make sure the string doesn't get loose. And I'm going to go ahead and stick a bunch of foam dots here. I ran out of big foam dots, so you'll see I just have just a ton of small foam dots, and I'm just trying to decide where I want the circle to go, and I ended up deciding to put it right in the middle. And I really like the finished look of the patchwork background I created. This was super easy and a great way to use up a scrap of paper that I had in my stash. So you can just use anything you have and create a nice card out of it and make some use out of your supplies. On screen here I have a couple more videos for you. The first one shows you the more in-depth review and little tips and tricks that I showed for the color pencils I used today. You can also find more information on the supplies I use at the blogs listed below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channels at the top. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.